Change starts with talking, and sometimes that's not easy. In our exclusive poll, almost half of the women we asked, 46%, said they wouldn't feel comfortable talking about the menopause with their manager or boss. Of those who'd been through it or are still going through it, 27%, more than a quarter, told us it had a negative impact on their work life. Perhaps that's not surprising. After all, a recent government report concluded that unlike pregnancy or maternity, the menopause is not well understood or provided for in the workplace.
Start having open conversations about that word menopause.
150 miles away in Essex, we find Catherine Colas. She quit her job as a sales director during the menopause. Now she runs training sessions for companies on how not to lose women from their workforce. Often the managers she addresses are men.
I think it's highly important that men are included in this because I've gone through it, in my family life and how it's affected me, but I hadn't really related it to the way it sort of affects me at work with my work colleagues.
I'll definitely manage my team differently, take a bit more time to think about what's going on in the immediate environment and how people are reacting, and maybe be a little bit more tolerant and considerate.
We have an ageing workforce, more women are working, and it's obvious that it's going to affect a lot more women in the workplace. And we want to keep their skills. It's too expensive losing these valuable women, so let's do something about it.
Well, you mentioned Catherine. Catherine, you were in the piece we've just seen there from Tessa Chapman. You resigned from your old job, didn't you?
Yes, yes.
Why was that?
Because I had these feelings that I couldn't cope. I thought everybody was ganging up on me. I had a lot of anger issues. And I had no idea that I was going through menopause, no idea until I started doing research on it. But it's interesting about the workplace, what we're finding is that I think because there is such a stigma attached to it, that men are not coming forward and saying, we need to do something about this.
But it's hard for men to know if we're not telling them, really.
And it's women managers that are coming forward, they're recognising themselves that they're going through menopause and they want the information. And so and then they find out about myself or other sources and they say, come and give us the information, and then they're recognising other women in their teams, and then they are becoming the champions in the workplace and going to their senior managers and saying, look, we've got to do something about this. Because there's no point in staggering through life, walking through treacle, when you can do something about it and have a quality of life again. I mean, you've heard a lot of things already this evening, feeling in a fog, forgetting things, feeling as if you've got dementia. I thought that too, driving around a roundabout twice.
But there is hope, though, isn't there? There is hope, and that's what we're going to be discussing in the second half of our programme. Thank you, Catherine. There is no one-size-fits-all way of treating and coping with menopausal symptoms because everybody is different and everybody experiences menopause in a different way, don't you? But NICE has drawn up a number of guidelines for the NHS. Professor Anne Lumsden wrote those guidelines. She's recorded us a video explaining just some of them. Let's have a look.
They can help symptoms such as hot flushing and night sweats, also improve mood and help some of the sexual problems that are associated with the menopause. There are some side effects which need to be considered for each individual. Overweight women are more likely to have hot flushing as well as all sorts of medical problems, and so it's an excellent time to think about losing weight and possibly drinking less alcohol. Herbal preparations such as red clover, black cohosh and possibly St John's wort have been demonstrated to be helpful for some menopausal symptoms. Sometimes they can have side effects, so they must always report that they're using herbal preparations to their doctor. A very interesting technique that involves developing strategies to try and cope with or prevent symptoms in situations that might be stressful, for example. And it may involve breathing techniques or other means of lessening the symptoms. The antidepressant group of medications can be quite useful when given in low dosages to help treat hot flushing. And this is particularly useful in women who have conditions like breast cancer, where we would not often prescribe hormones. And they are definitely better than doing nothing at all, and can also make the mood better.